I'm Lucine, and today we're going to do some iris folding. We're going to use the bunny template that you can get off of my blog, lindalucine.blogspot.com. And this is a picture of what one of the templates looks like. What you can get is there's a pink template that says "Some Bunny Loves You." There is a blue template that says "Happy Easter." There is a plain template that looks like this that you can add anything that you want to your own background. You can even change the size and shapes of your background. You can add your own words, so you can do anything you want. This is a picture of one of those filled in with just some plain digital scrapbook paper. Alright, once you get your template and you download it and you print it out exact size, you will also need a card. This is just a regular 4 1/4, 5 1/2 inch store-bought card. You will need some matte cardstock, and that's actually up to you. You can mat it directly onto the card if you want to. You'll need a cheat card, and I'll show you how to make that shortly. A ruler to cut out your card. You will need several pop dots. You will need regular Scotch tape. Not double-sided Scotch tape, but just regular Scotch tape. You could also use a glue stick. I've done that successfully when I couldn't find my tape. It works fine. You might need some little scissors. You will need a craft knife, an optional Sharpie, black or brown, and then you will need your paper strips. Now, I don't actually use paper. I use cardstock for the most part. So, since cardstock is so much thicker, I don't want to have to fold it. So instead of folding my edges, what I do is I take an ink pad and I highlight the edges, and that gives you all the dimension that you want to do. Now, if you still want to use paper, paper is folded. So you will cut your paper strip a little bit wider than you would cut if you were going to do cardstock strips. Cardstock strips only need to be about 1/2 inch wide. You see that. Paper needs to be a little more than half, maybe up to 3/4. And what you do with your paper strips is you fold the edge in about 1/3 and give it a nice sharp crease. And that creased edge is what you're going to lay down for your iris folding. If you use cardstock, you'll use the gilded edge. Now, I also sometimes use paper along with my cardstock, like the shiny paper doesn't come in cardstock, and it actually mix and matches quite well. I've used all kinds of things. This is wrapping paper, which I've used wrapping paper. I've used ribbon. This is just ribbon that you use to wrap packages in. I've used wrapping paper, origami paper, scrapbook paper. You can use just about anything. I've even used fabric. Alright, so you've got your strips cut. You'll need about 2 full-length strips per color, and you can either use 4 colors or 5 colors. My template has both available. There's a 4-color pattern or 5-color pattern. And then you will need to make a cheat sheet. This is a cheat sheet. And my color-coded patterns, see, they have a black, the 1, 5, 9 is black, the blue, the 2, 6, 8, 10, that's blue, and then there's the red, and then there's the green. This is going to help you keep from getting your colors mixed up. That's important. You don't want to make a mistake and ruin your whole piece. So I take the colors that I'm going to use here, each one, and I attach a tiny little scrap to it, and I put that right there where I can see it, so I can refer back to it. Alright, now I've printed out my pattern. Now what I need to do is cut it out. And I've already cut one out here, so we don't have to waste all that time. I cut the egg out completely. Now, when you cut something out, you get these little white edges in there, and I don't like those white edges. That's what the Sharpie is for. I take my Sharpie up underneath, and I just color all that white in so that white isn't going to show. Now I'm going to take my pattern, and I'm going to do the 4 one just to save some time. And then I'm going to turn my pattern upside down, and I'm going to match it exactly. And then I'm going to tape that down with 2 little hinges. I don't want to tape the whole thing down. It's not necessary. And I also want to be able to open it up and check my pattern and make sure I'm not making any mistakes. So I've done that. And now it's time to start. You take your first color, and this is my first color, and take a strip that's wide enough to cover it up. Snap that off. turn it upside down, and with one tiny little piece of tape, I'm going to tape it down. Then I'm going to go to the next piece. And you can see on this piece that it's not a perfect strip. As long as one edge, the edge that you're going to use, is straight, it really doesn't matter about the other edge. It's not going to show. So I put down a piece that I need on 2. I need about that much. And lay it down. Take a little piece of tape, line it right up on that line, and tape it down. Take the next piece, line it up, and tape it down. And you continue going around, checking your card, making sure you're doing it rightly. That's not a word, I just made it up. Make sure you're doing it correctly. Put that down on your 4, and make sure every new color you put down goes on top of the other color. Don't slide it up underneath it. It needs to go on top for the pattern to work. And then tape that down. Now, about every 2 rows, I double check just to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. So about every 2 rows, you do want to double check that. Now, you don't want to sit here and watch me do all of that, so I've got one that's almost finished. Here we go. And you can see that it's almost done except for that little part in the middle. And in the middle, I've just got room for 2 more little sections. So what I've done is I've skipped a color, and I've gone from the color that I use for black to the color that I use for red. And so I'm going to stick a little bit of this right on top of that. And then I'm going to finish filling it in with this. And I'm going to tape that down pretty good. All right, and now that is finished. Uh-oh, I did it backwards. It's a good thing, that's why you have a cheat sheet, so you don't do it backwards. All right, so I'm going to put that one here. And that one there. Let's check that. There, that's perfect. Now I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to trim away the tape. And any of the tape and cardstock that was hanging out over the edge. So you don't need to worry about that because you're going to trim it right away. Alright. Now, as you can see, even using single cardstock without the bent, you get quite a bit of bulk here. And to get rid of that bulk, you just simply mat it with pop dots. So I'm going to take some pop dots, and I'm going to put them, one in each corner. And paper came off. And then I'm going to put a few around on the outside here. Do not put any pop dots on where your bulk already is. If you want to put a little double-sided tape or a bit of glue stick in there, that works fine. But the pop dots would just add to the bulk, and what we're trying to do is take away from it. So I would actually probably put a few more on there, but just to save time, we'll just stop there. And take your card and put it on your mat, which if you don't want to mat this, you can put it just straight on your card. And then I'm going to glue or tape my card down. Alright, like that. And as you can see, if you print this out exact size, it fits exactly on your card there. Okay, there you go. Somebody loves you. And I hope you enjoy the template.